So today we're going to talk about gratitude, but probably not in the way you're used to thinking about it. We're looking at it as a whole framework for belief and for action. And we're going to break down how this entire deep lesson is packed onto a single page. Let's dive in. We all say thank you, right? It's almost automatic sometimes. But what if that little phrase was actually the key, the starting point for an entire way of life? This explainer is all about a lesson that asks us to dig into that, to find the deeper meaning of gratitude, way beyond just being polite. Okay, so this is it. This is our entire source material for today. And what's so wild is that everything we're about to unpack, core beliefs, how we should act, our purpose, it's all right here on this single page. It's really incredible. All right, so first things first, let's look at what this lesson is actually trying to do. What are its goals? Well, the learning goals here are super clear. It's all about connecting the dots. It wants you to grasp this core belief in the oneness of God, then to look inward at your own actions, then to understand this bigger role as a kind of responsible guardian, and finally, it even teaches you the specific words to use to express it all. And to kind of set the mood, the lesson kicks off with a poem. And listen to how it frames gratitude. It's not about being thankful for stuff you get. It's about being thankful for inner qualities, for strength and for courage. That's a really interesting shift in perspective right from the start. Okay, so we've established the what. It's gratitude. But now we get to the real heart of it, the why. What's the core belief that makes this thank you so meaningful? And boom, right away, the lesson anchors itself in this verse from the Quran. Putting this front and center before anything else tells you everything you need to know. This is the foundation for the entire lesson. So that principle we just saw? It has a name. Tawheed. It's the central Islamic belief in the absolute oneness and uniqueness of God. And the lesson is basically saying, look, you can't really get the idea of gratitude we're talking about here unless you first get this concept. So here's the main takeaway, the absolute key. The gratitude that's being taught here isn't some vague feel-good emotion. No, it's a very specific response. And it is completely and totally tied to this one single foundational belief. Everything else is built on top of it. Okay, great. Belief is one thing, but how do you actually do it? How does this lesson take that big idea and turn it into something you can practice every single day? Well, the text uses this really powerful phrase for it, fulfilling the rights of Allah. See, it's not just about doing good deeds when you feel like it. This reframes our actions as responsibilities, as duties. It even calls it a moral treasure. That's a big shift, right? And this just lays it all out so perfectly. You see how it starts? Step one is the belief, Tawheed. But then look how it flows right out from there, into obedience, into prayer, into how you treat other people, and finally into caring for the entire world. It's like a ripple effect starting from a single belief. And that last part, caring for all of creation, that's such a huge deal that the lesson gives it its own spotlight. This is where it zooms out from just you and your personal actions to your responsibility for, well, everything. And it uses a very specific word for this role, vicegerent. Basically, it means being a steward, a guardian, someone who's been put in charge of looking after the planet and everything on it. According to this lesson, that is the ultimate role we should be striving for. So what this does is it sets up this really powerful contrast. It's the difference between just saying thank you, which is a verbal act, and actually being thank you, which is a life of action. It's not just being thankful for what you get, it's showing your thanks by how you behave. And now, if we go back to that poem, these lines hit differently, don't they? This part about asking for determination, it's not just about personal success. It's about finding the strength to actually live up to that massive responsibility of being a guardian, of giving it your all in everything you do. All right, let's pull all these threads together. So, what's the point of all this? What happens when you practice this kind of active, responsibility-focused gratitude? This is where the lesson gets super practical. It gives you the actual phrase to use, Alhamdulillah, which means all praise and thanks are for God. And it tells you exactly why you should say it. It's a tool for mindfulness, a way to constantly and consciously recognize the good that exists in your life. And the end of the poem just, wow, it ties it all up perfectly. You see the cycle? Gratitude strengthens your belief. That belief gives you determination. And that determination is what gets you through the tough times. Thinking, believing, acting, and enduring. It's all one big loop.
And that really leaves us with one big question to think about, doesn't it? After seeing all this, the question becomes, if you thought of gratitude not just as a feeling, but as your actual job description, your responsibility to the world, how would that change things? How differently would you live? And how differently would you say thank you?